In this lesson, we're going to show you how to identify and enter our SingleT trade. First, let's take a look at a SingleT long. First, we need to see our EMAs in the correct order. So we need to see the 10, above the 20, above the 50, above the 200. So here I have all 4 of my EMAs in the correct order for a SingleT long. Next, I need to see my blue line above the purple line. Now it isn't yet, but it is very likely that it will get to the correct side of the purple line if one of the next couple bars is a turn bar. Next, I need to see my super trend outside of its neutral zone, which it is. I can tell over here on my y-axis, it is at plus 28 and the neutral zone is at plus 25. And last, all I need to see is a turn bar. Now I don't know if this bar will plot as a turn bar, but I do know if my green DPI price is hit, it will plot as a turn bar. But at this point, I'm not too sure if my blue line is going to cross and get to the correct side of the purple line. So I'm going to wait for the market to develop before I make a decision. Alright, so we plotted another red color bar, but if I look, I can see that my rules are still qualified. So if this bar plots as a turn bar, I can still likely get into a fully qualified SingleT trade. Alright, so now I did see my turn bar plot, which I was anticipating. So now let me reassess my rules. My EMAs are still in the correct order. I have the 10 above the 20, above the 50, above the 200. Now my blue line is very close to being on the correct side of the purple line. At this point, I can be fairly confident that if this hits the green DPI price, my blue line will get to the correct side of the purple line. And my super trend is right on the edge. If this bar closes as a green color bar, it will get outside of its neutral zone. So in this way, I can anticipate the trade setup, even though it isn't 100% qualified yet. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put in my entry price, which is my green DPI price, 54.22. Now I'm going to enter 3 contracts, which is what we normally enter with, but don't worry too much about money management strategy just yet. We'll get to that in more detail in a later video. For now, I want to focus on identifying the trades and entering them before the market gets there. So we see that our entry price was reached, and we are now in this trade, which has exceeded our profit target. So now let's take a look at a SingleT short. The rules are exactly the same, simply reversed. So first, I need to see my 10, below my 20, below the 50, and below the 200. So my EMAs are in the correct order for a SingleT short. Next, I'll be looking for my blue line to be below the purple line, which it isn't yet, but it's very likely that it will get to the correct side if this bar closes as a turn bar, or if we get another color bar following that. Third, I need to see my super trend outside of its neutral zone, which it currently is. I can see on the y-axis it is at minus 90, and it needs to be at minus 25 or below. And the last thing I need to see is a turn bar indicating that we will start trending short. So let's see how the market develops. All right, so I see that I did have a turn bar plot. It did reach my red DPI price as I anticipated. My EMAs are still in the correct order. Super trend is still outside of its neutral zone. My blue line did not get to the correct side, but it is very close now that I anticipate it getting to the correct side, or that its value will be less than the purple line when this bar closes. So I'm going to go ahead and enter my DPI price, 1368 even. And I'm going to submit my order. And now I have my order in far ahead of time. And if the market reverses direction, I can simply cancel my order since it was never filled, as my entry price was not hit. All right, so our order was filled, and now we are in this trade. Thank you for joining us on this lesson for identifying a SingleT trade. Join us in the next lesson where we look at the continuation trade.